Welcome, Kunal. So it's 1 minute past the start time. However, we have a quorum number, 25 participants, before we commence fully the session. So we'll just wait, like give 2 minutes more to reach the quorum number. However, because you have joined in early, for participants that have joined in early, thank you so much. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your punctuality. Thank you for the thirst of knowledge that you have. We are so
Okay. I think we lost Tolu for the second there. So I'll just continue from where she stopped. Can everyone hear me? Okay, thank you so much. So yes, I will hand over when she comes back. I think she was going to say thank you so much to everyone who, yeah, I think she's back. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us. We see a lot of people who have been here from day one, and we are really excited to have you here. We see you, Prince. We see you, Kodri. Thank you so much for joining us. So Tolu, over to you. I just picked up so that there will be no break.
Thank you so much. You know, network issues is what we don't have control over here in Nigeria. So I apologize for the break in transmission. So I was actually appreciating people for joining the call early, and we are so grateful to have your commitment, to have your punctuality, to have your thirst for knowledge for circular economy, space activities, and how things are being done in this space. So I'm going to quickly share some tips about the open market session we talked about yesterday. And this is because you're on the call early. So one of the benefits of attending an event early or joining the call early. So for the open market segment, it's going to be in 2 phases. The first phase will be before the panel session, which is like the climax, the peak of the session today. Then the second phase will be after the panel session, after the questions and answers, the panel session proper, we will have the second phase of the open market segment. So the segments will go this way. We are going to actually call participants to come share with us their learnings and probably ask 1 or 2 teaser questions, you know, to know how well you are following. So this is not to put anyone on the spot at all, no. This is for us to be able to determine that, okay, yes, we are making impact as a result of the Careers Week series. So we have 19 people on the call, and we have, okay, instead of waiting for 25, let's just make it 22 today. Debbie, I think is good. So we don't keep our wonderful, beautiful panelists waiting.
So I was going to quickly say something.
Deborah, you're on mute.
Okay, yeah, sorry. We can also just reach out to our friends. We can reach out to them on WhatsApp and share them the link. So yes, I think I'm going to drop the link now in the comment box so that we could share the link with our friends to just encourage them to be here. And yes, Tolu, I think we've hit the mark. We have 20 people here. That's awesome.
Okay, so I'd also want to quickly recognize like our long-standing participants, those that have been with us like right from day 1, day 2, and they are here today. So I see the likes of Mr. Olaide. Thank you so much. So yeah, yesterday, now I mentioned it on the call that he called me in the morning and was like, hello, sorry, what's the time for today's session? I was like, wow, having someone this passionate to want to learn is a plus for the secular economy space. Thank you so much, Victoria, for a wonderful job that you're doing in the comment chat box. Thank you so much to the entire CEIP team. Thank you to our speakers for accepting to be on the call with us for this session. It's going to be interesting. It promises to be interesting. I tell you, you can see that myself and Debbie we are investor ready dressed. Like, you know, yeah, I'm sure if you notice, if you took notice, yesterday, I think we're wearing maybe just shirt or something, but today we said, no, we have to be investor ready. So we are putting on gowns, you get, so we look corporate and investor ready. We never can tell, Debbie, we know we can get tips of how to, you know, now get fun and grand. Exactly. So it's 7 minutes into the time. Okay, there's someone in the waiting room. So it's 7 minutes to the time and we have 21 participants in the room. So I think it's okay to start with the session proper. It's another wonderful time, like another interesting time. And it is the day 3 out of the day 4 days webinar for our Careers Week series. For those that have been on the call, they can attest to it that it has been fire back to back, like fire in the bones, fire in our hearts to do things. Yes, so Debbie said, yes, it's been fire. Personally for me, you know, for each session, I'm always like, there's something I need to do to add to my secular economic career journey and like that. And I believe that it is like that for all participants that have been here. We appreciate you, we love you, because without you, truthfully, there would be no Careers Week series at all. So we are grateful. We do not take you for granted. We do not take you for granted. I'd also like to add, okay, it's not me adding now, I'm actually pleading. I kindly request that we fill the feedback form. So far from day 1, day 2, we've been having like a stable number of 40 participants. However, we have less than 10 people that have filled the feedback form. So the reason we want you to fill the feedback form is so that we know how best to serve you because of the network issue. So everybody will get to enjoy the privilege of getting the tip on the thank you, Olaide, getting the tip on the open market segment. So I said that the open market segment is going to be in 2 phases. The first phase will be before the panel session, and the second phase will be after the panel session. So it will be such that we are going to call on people, because we don't want it to be that, okay, we are giving preference to those that have actually been with us all through this series. So anybody, if you know you are interested, so prepare your mind. We'll just have 2 ask 1 or 2. Yes, the network could be friendly sometimes. It was friendly with us day 1, day 2, but day 3, we hope for the best. We hope for the best. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi, for that. So we are going to be calling on earnings and also just ask teaser questions. And for the second phase, it will be similar. However, there may be a twist. So Debbie, since we have the number, let's just go straight. I want you to like give us, you know, now sneak peek into what today's session is going to be like, what we are to expect from today's session. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you again, everyone. And yes, I forgot to thank Victoria. So thank you, Victoria, for holding the fort. Yes, thank you. So for today, yes, we had a lot of questions coming in as to, you know, how do I position my business to be seen by investors? How do I get this money? Because a lot of times now with tech, you just see a company saying, this person has received $1.2 billion, not even naira now, $1.2 billion to, you know, push out more good content, push out more quality products into the market. And then you're just there wondering, let this cup not pass me by. So we don't want that cup to pass you by, especially because you are in the circular economy space and there is so much in store for you. So today we're going to be having two awesome ladies with us. They are our panelists for today. We're going to be having Yasmin and Chandni. They are going to be with us for the session. And the way the session is going to go is that I'm going to interact with them and actively ask them questions. So please, when I introduce them officially, let your emojis be in that chat box. Let it just be, you know, with all the excitement, and also let your questions come in as well. They are here today to answer the questions that you might have about funding, about the investor space. And maybe you want to be an investor. Maybe it's your dream to actually have that money. Yes, it's possible for you to be the one investing in business. You can ask those questions and then they will share more light. So yes, Tolu, over to you. I think I've given them a sneak peek into what to expect for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes. There's so much. You can decide to start a business, you can decide to be in the corporate space, you can decide to work in the social enterprise, you can decide to be an investor or work in that space as well. So gradually we are moving towards the climax. You know, yesterday we said we are trying to keep to time, and as much as we want to keep to time, we also want to keep the session engaging. We want to keep it interesting for everybody. Like Debbie has rightly said, I want us to express ourselves, whatever it is you are feeling, because I know that we are people with positive vibes. Like we have positive energy. So let's see all of your energies in the comment chat box. Quickly, before we get to the climax, I'm going to be bringing on board one of our fellows. Remember in day one, I explained to the participants, to the audience, that for CEIP, we have 3 pillars. So I'm going to quickly recap again. The 3 pillars guiding circular economy innovation partnership are advocacy, program facilitation, and research. So we had, for day one, we had one of our research fellows talk briefly on what they are doing, the challenge question and the solution they are preferring. Day 2, same thing. And day 3, there will be no difference, because we're also going to bring a wonderful person of Almin. I hope I got the pronunciation of your name, because I've been learning to pronounce that name since morning. Almin, such a nice name to have. It's a nice name. So Almin, are you with us on the call?
Yes, I am.
Did I get the pronunciation?
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you so much. So in 3 minutes, I'd like you to introduce yourself, introduce your team, introduce your challenge questions and the innovation you are bringing on board.
All right, so my name is Alamin Isaac, and I'm currently a student of Nigerian University of Technology and Management. And I have my research fellows together with me, Jacob and Taiwo. So we are currently working on a challenge by CIP, which is finding ways by which digital infrastructure can be improved. It's a very big problem in the industry. So I'll just go straight to the point. So we have a couple of research questions that we proposed. So we're both in Nigeria and abroad, but we are currently focusing on Nigeria, Lagos in particular, and also the kind of technologies that we can easily adopt for the efficient collection of this plastic waste in Nigeria. So we are also looking at the social and economic limitations by which we can easily adopt these technologies in plastic collection. So, but the research questions we are trying to kind of investigate them and test them by following some hypotheses with respect to the localization of the technologies, because some technologies can easily work in other places, but they can't work in everywhere. Like for example, in Africa, a technology can work in UK, US, but it can't work in Africa. So some of the hypotheses include the technologies that can help overcome the ineffective approach to the waste collection and the segregation in developing countries. And also the digital transformation of plastic collection processes as a competitive strategy to attract huge market for waste management. And also we are looking at the right for government policies as a prerequisite for the effective adoption of technology for improved plastic waste collection in Nigeria. So, but bringing all this together, we are just trying to now create like a framework that will give us so that we can easily attempt to develop that framework to be able to utilize how companies and relevant stakeholders can be included in the digital infrastructure. In summary, what we are currently doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Al-Amin. Thank you for that brief introduction into your challenge question and innovation you are working on. From CEIP team, we wish every other research fellows all the best in your research work. And hopefully we get to publish your research work and also see it become. Thank you
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, so we are going straight into the open market session. I will not lie. Don't let me be truthful. Don't let me be truthful because I don't want to lie. Do you understand? Don't let me be truthful. I don't want to lie. So I have eyes on some set of people because like they have been with us a year again, but then they may decide not to indicate interest to come up for the open market session. So if you know you are interested, before I start calling names, indicate by just raising up your hand, use the raise a hand emoji reaction, and we'll call you on board. So quickly, we just need 2 people to indicate interest. Yippee! Thank you so much, Mr. Olaide Olabuwo. We need one more person. One more person. Yeah, thank you, Ifeanyi. Digital infrastructure. Thank you. We need one more person now. We actually want to give room for everybody to participate. So please, if you are Olaide's and raised, one more other person and we are good to go. Okay, so I think, oh, Debbie, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Seeing it all, I like.
Yeah, seeing what
their
I'm
consistency
seeing.
is amazing. Their consistency
is amazing. It's
yes.
amazing. It's amazing. So, Mr. Olaide and Mr. Quadri, let me first say thank you so much for being circular economy stalwarts and enthusiasts. Like you have been with us from day 1, day 2, you are here again. And in my mind, I and Debbie discussed this and we're like, it's looking like it's Mr. Olaide and Quadri that will raise hands, but then let's just still give room for other people. Thank you so much for taking to be a part in this segment. So for this segment, you're going to actually unmute yourself. I think Mr. Olaide should go first. You're going to unmute yourself and probably start your video so we can just have a glimpse of who you are and get more familiar with you on a personal level. You share with us lessons, what you've learned from the sessions so far, be it day 1 or day 2, or if you want to talk about both, but then we want to keep to time as well. So 1 minute each, share your lessons with us and your takeaway, what you've noted that, oh, because of this session, I'm going to start doing, or because of this session, I'm going to implement. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. I'm Olaide Olabuwo. I'm joining the call from Ilorin, Kwara State. Though I happen to be a master's student at Ladoke University of Technology, Ogbomoso, Nigeria. Yeah, it's been awesome for me to be part of this session. Like in day 1, I have Mr. Anichi Ebusi, who tried to open our eyes to see collaboration and the essence of leveraging on the different part of renewable, because in part of his conversation, they actually lay emphasis on using biogas and whatever. Then from there, we have we have another speaker, that is Funam Gulani. He actually talked about how we can have a business model, blended finance to deepen renewable energy projects to rural community. Then yesterday, we have, also 2 days ago, and he actually laid emphasis on the collaboration, our purpose, and what have you that. But it was during a discussion that captured the 12 arrows of sustainability. Then yesterday we have Osarode Odewinge, who I describe as innovator, inventor, and entrepreneur because he actually tell us that it's possible that when we follow our passion, then we have another, the last person that came from a sustainability manager from Nigeria Bureau. He actually told us that he served from service, he learned, and from there he began to work. So I think the take home is that when we have opportunity to learn, we should put our mind to it. And when we have passion for something, we should go ahead and do it, leverage on the network that can help us to achieve our desire. So thank you very much.
Debbie, do you want to say something, please? Because, please just say it, please.
If you could see me, I was like, thank you. I could see, I'm actually at loss for words to say. Thank you so much. You gave the breakdown so perfectly well. I am super, super impressed. I could see that even you had your notes next to you so that if you miss anything, you could always refer back. Thank you so much for that wonderful delivery. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Mr. Olaide, thank you so much. So one thing I must really commend is that I noticed as well that he took notes. Thank you so much. For those, now I know some of us will be like, it's Zoom call now, there's no need to take notes. But then Mr. Olaide knows the essence. Passionate about the circular economy space. Mr. Quadri, you have the floor now. You can kindly unmute yourself and start your video if you can. We would love to see your face and also relate with you on a personal level. You have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, let me on my video. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Koji. I'm a student at the University of Lagos. I'm studying education and business, actually. And then I'm not that related to the circular economy of a thing, but actually I have a mentor of mine who has been every resources that I get. And then when she sent this link to me, that I should make sure that I participate on the live on the board. Since the one that I've been participating, I've been seeing so many great things going up here. But okay, now let me go to those things I've learned so far. Regarding that, the first thing I first of all gained from this program was when they talk about when FUNAM was talking. FUNAM said the fact that finance is necessary backup for any part of business. So that made me realize that no matter what that one person might be doing, and then whatever part of a thing it could be, maybe circular economy or not circular economy, finance is a very, very important thing. And then it has actually been a very great thing to have learned that from the speakers. I would also want to do what Mr. Olaide did. They want to do that, but I wouldn't want to do that again, so I can start to avoid repetition. But I would also want to acknowledge the fact that when Mr. Osaghae, there is a way, because I said yesterday when you introduced, when you introduced Mr. Osaghae, when you introduced Mr. Osaghae, like I said that his name sounds like one of the former player of Super Eagles, that is exactly on David Game, who used to wear the number 20. And it was also a very, very brilliant person too. And then when he started his lecture and then everything, it was as if it was like it was not like an ordinary person. That was the way I saw it to be, because what he was taking towards the things that he was telling us, so many opportunities that he was saying. And the fact that he said it that you have to make use of every opportunity that you get. Look at what he said was that I started the innovation, like the invention I first studied, that you just shoot that kind of and then you just look at it. So just like with what they said is that when opportunity meets effort, then success is inevitable. So what I would just think, what I've taken home or what I'm going to take home from this class session is the fact that no matter what you might be doing, just make sure that you put your passion, just like almost all the speakers, so your passion, your purpose, you have to make sure that you understand the purpose for you doing this thing. And then with those passion and purpose and then resilient effort towards achieving this, then success is surely the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Quadri. Thank you so much for your contributions. You know, one thing he said about how he got to know about this Careers Week series is that his mentor sent it to him. So one of our speakers said something about mentorship. That is the sustainability manager for Nigerian breweries. She said she had a mentor, that professor, which she actually reached back to, and the professor helped her to develop this very strong passion for sustainability. So please, Mr. Corey, I'll tell you, stick to your mentor. Mentorship is a very, very great deal, and it's a very useful tool in development, whatever career. Mentorship is key. Yes, Mr. Laide, yes. Thank you so much. So for the teaser question to ask, you people have covered it. So there's no need to do the teaser questions. We are going to announce winners towards the end of the session. We are going to announce winners towards the end of this session. So Debbie, without wasting much of our time, you have the floor. Take over. Let me leave the stage while you do your thing.
Thank you very much, Tolu, for that. Yes, once again, thank you, Mr. Olaide. Thank you, Mr. Quadri, for sharing your learnings with us. And yeah, we are so delighted that this was impactful for you. It means a lot to us. So I'm quickly going to share my screen so that I can introduce the two panelists for today to us. So yes. So our first panelist is Chandni Hirani. Chandni is the Accelerator Manager at Katapult, a VC that invests in food, agri, and climate tech startups in Africa. Previously, she was the head of Africa programs for the entrepreneurship division at the London School of Economics and the founder of a solar energy startup in Kenya. She actively engages in supporting the development of entrepreneurs and startups in Africa through her work with incubators and accelerators across Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria, and Ghana. She is also active in circular economy initiatives across the continent. She is passionate about education and is currently publishing a book on games-based teaching in higher education with Routledge, Taylor, and Francis UK. Please, with I was going to say with a standing ovation, but please, with emojis in the chat box, with your fires, with your welcome, join me as I welcome Chandni to this session. Thank you so much, Chandni, for joining us. I really appreciate you. I cannot see the chat box, but I think it's going on fire because I'm sharing my screen. I'll quickly introduce the second panelist because I said this session is different from the other session. So it's going to be a conversation where I'll be asking both our panelists questions back and forth, and then we'll hear them out. So without further ado, I will introduce our second speaker. Our second panelist, rather, she is Yasmin Kamara-Osaghae, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Yasmin is a private sector development professional with over 10 years of management and consulting experiences across private and public sectors. She has worked in Nigeria over the last 7 years on donor-funded economic reform programs with a range of bilateral institutions and DFIs, including FCDO/DFID, the European Union, World Bank, UK, Foreign and Commonwealth Offices, and the UK Department of International Trade. Like, she has worked in so many amazing places, and these are places you should really look out for, because they are places that really give out, the resources that we as startups are looking for. She's currently the Nigerian country coordinator for Manufacturing Africa, the UK government flagship catalyst program, which aims to attract 1.2 billion euro of foreign direct investment into manufacturing sector and create 90,000 jobs in East and West Africa by 2026. Prior to her time in Nigeria, Yasmin was a management consultant with Deloitte UK. Yasmin has also worked on the GSMA mobile money for the unbanked program funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and in Sierra Leone for United Nations. Please, again, help me put your hands together. Yes, there is a clapping emoji. Help me put your hands together for our panelists for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Maz, I believe that you can unmute for this session, because we will be having awesome conversations. I don't know if you want to just quickly say hello to the participant before I begin to ask you the questions that we have lined up for today. So the floor is yours, Maz. Yes, thank you. Ma'am Chandni, I think you can go first. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Sure. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Chandni, as Deborah has very politely shared a nice introduction. So thank you all for inviting me and letting me be here to share some information.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Deborah. My name is Yasmin Kamara-Osaghae. Very much looking forward to this conversation. I mean, early on in my career, I would have loved to have this kind of platform. So yeah, just great to be a part of this.
Thank you so much, mums, again. So I will shoot with the first question, and the first question is for Chandni. So my question goes thus: I'm seeing that you've covered a whole lot of, sectors. You've worked with agriculture, you've worked in the food sector, you work with climate technology. What relationship will you say that these sectors share in common with the circular economy space? Because one of the things that we've been trying to tell the participants is that the circular economy space is not a one-man show, it's a collaborative space. So I'd just like you to share with us what is the relationship between these sectors? Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the way that we see circular economy, do we need to mute someone? No, okay. Yep, so really, if we think about what circular economy is, it actually focuses on repurposing and regeneration as sort of its core principles. And in one shape or form, really, what all of that leads to is actually thinking about how do we lead to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions? And what is the entire purpose of the climate agenda? It's actually reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. And so when we're thinking about how can we make how can we be more circular in our thinking around making products, around developing the climate agenda and helps us solve for this bigger problem, which is really around how can we reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Circular.
The assessment criteria that we have on Manufacturing Africa to respond to this question. So on Manufacturing Africa, we really try and mirror our assessment criteria for support on what investors typically look for before investing in a business or in an opportunity. So primarily for us, feasibility is the most important thing. So we have a goal as a program of bringing in, as Deborah said, 1.2 billion pounds of foreign direct investment into our markets in East and West Africa. So we want to support deals and projects that have a high likelihood of actually reaching financial close. And in order for us to assess feasibility, what we look for primarily are the company's financials, if they're already in operation. If it's a greenfield project, then we're looking at their projections, and then we're evaluating a number of different factors. First of all, we want to understand the underlying market that business is operating in. We want to see their previous track record, understand the skills of their management team, and if they're going to be able to perform. We want to understand the operational viability of the opportunity, the competitive landscape, and even down to the detail around what do those distribution channels look like? Is what they're asking for in terms of finance realistic? What is the overall political economy of the sector and of the country? So feasibility is top of mind for us when we're assessing what opportunities we want to support through the program. And we believe for investors, this is also very critical. So once we've understood the feasibility of an opportunity, beyond this, we then have to ensure that the development impact metrics are met. So for us, we are keen to make sure that there's a job creation element to any transaction that we're supporting. We want to see that new jobs are being created in Nigeria, and these new jobs, if possible, are highly skilled. We're keen to ensure there's an element of inclusivity, and here we're thinking about things such as gender and poverty and those in the Nigerian population that are marginalized. Positive climate and environmental benefits are critical, humanitarian benefits, and then economic transformation for the sector and then for the country. So what I mean by this is, given that we're trying to support businesses in the manufacturing sector, we want to see that they're introducing new technologies that will raise the bar of what the standard of production is in Nigeria. And we hope that in doing so, there'll be a spillover effect for not just the sector, but for the Nigerian economy as a whole. And what you'll find is that each investor has their own unique set of metrics, but I think typically in the circular economy space, and especially in the donor space and the impact investment space, feasibility is important, and then development impact is also important. And I think if companies are trying to think about what they should do to attract investment, I would say companies should absolutely have a compelling narrative. They should have their documentation in a relatively good state. And I think beyond this, they need to really be creative in finding pools of resources that are available to support them, whether that's through grants, technical assistance, accelerator programs such as Chandni's, as well as ultimately finding investors. So you really do have to be creative, network, keep your ear on the ground, and take advantage of all the different pools of resources that you have available to you.
Thank you so much for that. I think Tolu was briefing me in the privately, because I got cut off by network. And then she was like, the question was directed at both you, Yasmin. Thank you so much for answering so beautifully, and then Chandni. So I don't think Chandni has said anything yet, but then please, the floor is yours, ma'am. You can say something too. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually just want to reiterate something that Yasmin says about actually this idea that you can't have impact without profit, which is the sort of lens that I guess both of our organizations approach this from, is, you want to have profit with impact. Profit without impact, there are lots of organizations exist out there. There's lots of investors and lots of VCs that focus just on profit. But from the worlds that we're coming from, we definitely need profit, but the impact has to go alongside that. And so I think it's important to, sort of think about it from that perspective, where just because you're, solving a really great problem out there about whether it's regeneration or whether it's repurposing, if you're not making money and you're not making profit from this, ultimately it's not attractive to an investor, because at the end of the day, investors need to get their money, need to get a return on that money, rather than sort of the more donor-based approach. So I think that's actually something that I completely agree with. I think also maybe to touch a little bit on how we see this sort of circular economy and startups within that space from the perspective of Katapult. So we invest in technology startups. Tech for good is what we sort of phrase this as. And so when we're looking at the sort of startups that might be considered circular economy types of startups, we're looking at for example, maybe agri-tech startups that are doing things like helping farmers become more efficient, helping them, achieve more regenerative production. As long as all of this is tech enabled, tech is something that's scalable. And so for us as sort of a venture capital, if you are building technology that is built on circular economy principles and helping solve all of these problems in the world, then ultimately it is scalable and it will make money. And so we as an investor can make money from that. So that's something that's quite important from, sort of our perspective. Some of the other types of examples of startups that we consider within the space would be things like, actually, I think, was it Alamin that mentioned this earlier while he was speaking, thinking about how do we help companies manage their waste better? Can we actually build IoT or AI enabled? And by doing that, we can then help them actually, repurpose that and, be better with that entire sort of closed loop. And so these are the types of, startups that we look at. Another one, which is a very obvious one, is obviously energy, right? So if you're going to build a technology solution that waste better, energy waste, which is a very big thing. Right now in our pipeline, we actually have a company in Nigeria that's actually looking at helping with all of the sort of, issues around load shedding. And, we experienced some of the internet connectivity issues on this call as well. It's actually, how can you use technology to help make smarter decisions? And so that's sort of what we look at in that space. But I want to be sort of quite clear is that because this space of circular economy is kind of a new thing that's come up, it's a new word, even climate tech, which is something that we have categorized as a sector that we invest in, it's quite new to the African continent. We've only just sort of, started thinking about what that means. And circular economy sits under climate tech. And so a lot of these companies that I've just sort of given examples of, when they approach us, they don't approach us saying that we are a circular economy business. They approach us saying that, we are a waste management company, or we work in logistics, or we work in energy. But underneath all of that is circular economy principles. So I think the narrative is something that's quite important. It's, we're not yet at the stage where we are, sort of very clearly saying our startup is circular economy. We're sort of focused more on that sector-based approach of, is going. And I think it's important to sort of allude to something that you mentioned earlier, Deborah, is actually how can startups approach investors better? How can you get money? I think it's important to speak the language of the investors. And so to speak the language that your investor is speaking and mirror that. Yeah. Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you so much for that wonderful response. I'm quickly going to look at the chat box, and yeah, I'm going to read out some comments that we're having. Yes, I think a lot of people took note of what you said about profit having to go with impact, meaning that they shouldn't tend to look at just one angle of that. There should be a balance between both of them. So don't stray too much looking at profit, and then don't stray too much looking at impact. Create that balance and then pitch yourself. And then, yes, I like the point you mentioned about being able to properly, will I say, sell yourself to the investors. I think that is something that a lot of us here are really delighted to learn. I was almost going to ask you about how can one pitch themselves properly, but I'm thinking that probably will have to be an entirely different conversation that would take a lot of time. And then maybe if you have some materials, oh, this just came to me. So if you have some materials that you would like to share that could teach on these things, because we might not be able to cover them today, you could share with us, and then we could also share with the participants who are interested so that they can actually actively prepare themselves to pitch to investors. investors, which will now lead me to the next question that I have. At what point, so again, I think I like the fact that both of you answered together. So this question will also do the same way. At what point do you think that as a startup, I can begin to reach out to the investors? Is it when I have the idea? Is it when I have the prototype? Is it when I'm already making money, big bucks? At what point can I start reaching out to investors? At what point can I start looking out, for those opportunities? Thank you. So I think, okay.
Should I take that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And I think Chandni's gonna tag team in, which is great. So I think it really depends on what the company's needs are and what they're reaching out for. There's so many different types of support available at different stages of a company's growth cycle, whether that's very early on when you're conceptualizing the business, there are various pitch competitions that you can take part in. If it's slightly later, when you've successfully piloted the business and you're seeking seed funding, or when the business is more established and you're looking for investors in your Series A or even your Series B round of investment. So it really depends. What is it that you're looking for? Is it financial assistance? Is it technical assistance? Is it like that you're trying to produce? But what I would say is that any stage that you have to have a strong understanding of the underlying market and what the need is that you're trying to provide a solution for before you approach any partners, whether that's pre-seed, seed, Series A. Like, you need to understand the market and you need to understand what the need is that you're really trying to address. And I think that will help any company at any various stage that they're in. So on Manufacturing Africa, we have supported companies at varying stages of their development. So we've worked with an electronic waste recycler here in Lagos, trying to raise $4 million for a new concepts that they're trying to launch in Nigeria. So moving away from just recycling electronic waste to actually producing second life small solar devices. So they've piloted it, they've got some technical partners, and they're now trying to raise $4 million in order to actually create a facility that will allow them to produce these second life battery products. And we've also worked with a large scale solar home system producer that's looking for $50 million. And this is their Series C round. We've worked with an electronic vehicle company that are producing electronic 2- and 3-wheel vehicles. And they've gone from raising $9 million. And at each stage, what you'll find is that the needs of the business will be different. So I don't think there's any stage that's the right stage. I think you just need to know what you're looking for and reach out accordingly to the right partners.
Thank you so much. I can see Chandni nodding. I think she totally agrees with what you're saying, which is awesome. I don't know, would you like to say something, or you want me to shoot right to the okay, she wants to say something. Thank you so much.
Sure, yeah, I can.
Okay.
So I think actually what I like is that Yasmin has touched on sort of, the broader picture and sort of the later stage of what it looks like when you're, quite a fully grown company and you're looking to raise, in the millions. I think, when we think about the early stage, the sort of pre-seed stage of raising funds, this is where actually we see lots and lots and lots of companies out there that are supporting, right? We see MasterCard Foundation, for example, running programs to help people build ideas into prototypes. We see lots of incubators out there that are helping build, helping people also do the same thing. And so we also have, accelerators. So the sort of difference, I think maybe I can just talk a little bit about what incubators do is incubators help people who have ideas try to make something out of that idea. So how can you take this idea, take a potential problem that you've identified and build a solution for that? I work for an accelerator VC, which is we take those that already have solutions, already have the revenue that they're generating. They maybe sort of have, have a very good market share in Nigeria, and they're looking to grow. And so what our focus is on is actually helping companies grow and scale. So maybe you're thinking about growing your revenue 10 times in this year, and you want to do that by moving into a neighboring market. So that's sort of what we focus on. And so I think, to Yasmin's point, you just need to find the right type of organization that's going to help you do what you want to do. So if you have a really good idea and you don't yet have a product developed, maybe it's not a good idea to apply for an accelerator that's helping companies scale from one country to another. So it's very important to understand what it is that the sort of companies and organizations that you're trying to seek help from, what is it that they are trying to do? What is their, MasterCard Foundation is another good example where they run lots of different types of programs. So they help people from idea stage, they help people who have prototypes. I think they're starting a program helping people who already have, revenue. So I think, yeah, that's important to understand what it is that that organization is looking to sort of build. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that response. Thank you. Like you already touched a bit of what I was going to ask next. So I'll just reiterate. I'll just. Okay, so I need to calm down. Like so much knowledge is really dropping and I'm really excited. So I would just like to say something again, I think for the audience, that incubators are actually different from accelerators. So that's the differentiation I wanted to make. So from what I gathered, you said incubators focus more on the seed companies that are seeing the seed stage. So they are still upcoming, and then they need more guidance, while accelerators help, companies that are aiming to scale. Is everybody able to hear me? I don't know if I'm frozen. Oh, I don't know if I'm frozen.
Yes, Debbie.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yes, exactly. So
No, we can
you're
hear
not
you.
frozen. We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I think I saw a question in the chat that I will just mention, read out briefly. So it's from Alamin, and it says, what is your view on Africans offsetting carbon for European and American companies? I don't think this has much to do with the I don't know how this relates to the conversation, but then if you have an answer to that, yeah, it would be good to know that as well. Thank you. So I don't know who would like to take that. Yes.
Okay. I can start. So I guess for me, it's there's two sides of this, right? On one hand, what carbon offsetting does is it actually brings money into the continent. And so what happens is that with that money coming into the continent, it helps us develop and helps us grow. Economically, it's actually quite beneficial. But I can see where Alamin is coming from at this question, and sort of the idea that actually what we're doing is we're sort of shifting, I guess, the responsibility from one part of the world to another part of the world. And ultimately, we're not actually reducing carbon emissions, we're just sort of moving it around. And so I think from that sort of environmental perspective, absolutely, I don't think that we're actually pushing or moving the needle in terms of achieving that sort of net zero in terms of the carbon neutrality that we are trying to aim for. But when we think about it from sort of a purely industrial, capitalistic, economic development perspective, actually the amount of money that does come in is actually quite valuable to help us, develop. So really, matches, are you coming at it from an environmental hat or are you coming at it from an economic development hat? Yeah, I think that's my 2 cents on that one.
Thank you so much for that response. I really appreciate it. For, when you mentioned that are we really solving the problem or moving the problem to a different location? I think it's really important that we think about that. So Alamin is also saying thank you in the chat box for that comment. I don't know, should we sit here one more question, guys, or should we round up here, because I think we're pressed for time at this moment. I don't know. Would you like us to take one more question? So you can just tell us in the chat box, would you like us to take one more question, or we just round up? Oh, one more question. So I'll just take one last question and let me see which one that is. Yes, so this is the question I want to ask. What is being done by investors and international organizations to drive circularity to a place of satisfaction and fulfillment? I'll take that again. What is being done by investors and international organizations to drive circularity to a place of satisfaction and fulfillment? And I think that question comes from the fact that not everybody is seeing circularity as, you know, an exciting thing to venture into. Not everyone is seeing it as fulfilling. So I think that's why this person actually asked that question. So I don't know who would like to take this question. This is our last question for today. And then, yes, I will just bring this session to a close.
Yeah, I'm happy to take it. Sorry, there was a little bit of background noise, Deborah. Could you please repeat the question?
Okay. So the question is, what is being done by investors and international organizations to drive circularity to a place of satisfaction and fulfillment? I think the question means, like, how are we encouraging, you know, the spread of circularity across the board? That is for the investors and then the international organizations.
Can
Okay,
read
so
the question for you.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get what you said, please.
So the question is, what is being done by investors and international organizations to drive circularity to a place of satisfaction and fulfillment?
Yes.
Thanks, Chandni. I mean, I think I can definitely speak for the UK government and what we're doing in this space. So what we're increasing solutions and programs in UK government's portfolio of programs, in fact. So Manufacturing Africa, as the name suggests, we're focused on manufacturing, but focus has shifted from manufacturing as a whole to only supporting businesses and initiatives that are climate friendly, that fall either under the green manufacturing space or the circular economy space. So I think this drive is coming right from the very top. So what you're seeing along the donor space is that you are no longer able to support business or categorization. And I think this is really helping to drive companies in the markets that we work in to reach scale. And I think scale is really, really important. I know Chandni mentioned this earlier on as well. What we really want to see is a lot of these smaller players either coming together or finding the technical partnerships, the product partnerships that will allow them to reach scale. And so waste is critical. So what we've identified is that for circular economy and for green manufacturing to be sustainable in not just Nigeria, but also in our East African market, solution for gathering waste, for segregating waste, and this crosses into insect-based animal feeds, plastic recycling, clean cook stoves, biodiesel. There has to be a solution in the waste space, and this touches upon so many different sectors. And then the secondary sector or cluster for us is also then solar. How do you make sure that you can provide cheap, reliable, strong manufacturing? So for us, this direction towards circular economy, towards green manufacturing is coming from the very top. And I think we're soon going to find that for a lot of donor programs, if you are not supporting businesses that fall in the green manufacturing space, you are not going to be able to pour down funds from the various governments that we are funded by. And for us here in Nigeria, we're really trying to push scale and aggregation within these two critical clusters. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that response. And I'm thinking that with that, yeah, we've come to the end of this session. this segment actually. We're not done for today. Tolu is going to quickly come back. She promised the participants something. So yes, everyone, let's just begin to appreciate, our panelists for today. They've done so amazingly well. I really, really like the direction our conversation went, and I was able to gather a lot as well. Yes, what I feel that what I gathered, so I'm going to share what I gathered. What I gathered is it doesn't really matter what stage you are in your business, in your startup. It doesn't really matter what stage you are. What is important is the ability to identify the needs of the investor company and how it matches with your own needs. So it means that you need a lot of clarity as a startup, as an entrepreneur, as someone who is saying that I am solving problem. You need to be very clear about the problem you are solving so that you can communicate this thing that you have that is pure gold to the investors and they can buy into it. Thank you so much, Ma. Yes, thank you, Mide. So Mide said, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I am so grateful. We are so grateful to have you here. So with this, I'm going to hand over to Tolu so that she could just quickly launch into the other part of the segment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you
are. Thank you so much. Actually, I have so many questions. But then I'm going to reach out personally. Because there's actually someone that asked a question yesterday, but I don't think the person is on the call today. So the person asked a question about recycling businesses, how to get grants or investors or international organizations to reach out to get funds for a recycling business. But then I don't think the person is on the call today. So it would have been really, really interesting to have on the call and have you share answers that would have actually helped her get funds for a recycling business. Thank you so much once again. My beautiful speakers, please. Deborah, you did not use the word beautiful very well. I'm not satisfied.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So yeah, so we in our pre-chat, so just to give background information to everyone, in our pre-chat, we're just like, oh, all these ladies that are here today were so beautiful. Like cheer us up. So yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, so
amazing ladies that are with us today. We are grateful. And yes, you too, Tolu. I see you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you so much, Debbie. Then I think that we are getting to a point. Yes, I know that I informed, while we had the technical checkup, I mentioned this, that it's good to see women doing great things in the circular economy space. And if I am to really check for people here in Nigeria now, especially the social enterprise, we have lots of women doing so many things and how they strategically position their circular economy business. They position it in ways that it benefits women and girls, and it also serves as youth empowerment too. So kudos to all the women that are doing great things, be it in the circular economy space, in the finance sector, and all areas. Kudos to all women, and also to the men that are supporting women to break the bias. Thank you so much. So to keep to time, yes, women rule the world, even in circularity and sustainability. Yes, thank you so much, Olaide Olawo, for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can sense from your comments so far that you're a man that supports women development and empowerment. So thank you so much, Olaide, for being such a wonderful personality. So straight to keep to time, Debbie, we are really doing so well. We are doing so well in keeping to time. Day one, we didn't keep so much work to time because it was the first session. Day two, we did well. Day three, we are on point. And day four, which is going to be the grand finale, we are definitely going to keep to time. So if you know your friends that are supposed to be on this call, and maybe for one reason or the other, especially for network issues, I know that Ma'am Yasmin is in Lagos, and Lagos, rain, and our network, they are not friends at all. They are not friends. So it's understandable if we don't have like the normal number we do have. We do have 40 people join the call. For day one, it was about 43, day two, 40, then day three, we tried, at least we got to average. We have 23, a stable number. So thank you so much for joining. Yeah, thank you so much, Olaide. Thank you. I hope to see you tomorrow too. So for the second phase of the open market session, it's going to be more of questions, just simple questions. I'm not going to, there's a twist. You know, I mentioned earlier that it's possible that we're going to have a twist. And yes, we just feel that we should have a twist. We want to use the comment chat box for this particular segment, for this phase. So we'll be asking you 4 questions. 4 questions. For question 1, we are going to pick. Okay, Debbie, someone is asking, will you share the last 2 sessions, especially for participants that missed it? Debbie, do you want to answer that?
Okay, yes, thank you. So yes, the sessions are going to be available. So what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to compile all 4 sessions at once. So we'll share the links with you. They're also going to be available on YouTube after we're done with the session. So thank you so much for that question.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Debbie. Definitely, Quadri. We are going to share the link after all sessions. So just keep calm. So, but don't say because we are sharing the links, you won't be here tomorrow, Quadri. My eyes are on you. You have to be here tomorrow. Okay, so you have to be here tomorrow. So for question 1, for question 1, the first person to comment, to answer the question in the comment chat box, Victoria, I know that you are very able and effective. Please help monitor and keep track of those that will answer. Okay, thank you so much, Quadri. We look forward to having you to be number 1 candidate tomorrow. So my first question, we are going to pick the first person to answer. The second question, we are going to pick the 3rd person. So if you like, delay, we're just trying to be, very, very fun here. The 3rd question, we are going to pick the 4th person. And for the 4th question, we are going to pick the 2nd person to answer the question. Let me repeat myself, Debbie, so we get it. For the first question, we are picking the 1st person to comment in the chat box. For the 2nd question, we are picking the 3rd person to answer the question in the comment chat box. For the 3rd question, we are picking the 4th person. And for the 4th question, we are picking the 2nd person to answer the question. So number 1 question, what is the full name of our last speaker for day 1? Full name of our last speaker for day 1. We are waiting. First person. Question 2. Victoria, I hope you are keeping track. No, don't send the answer to me. Okay, I have people sending the answers directly to me. Send it to everyone so everyone can see it. Yes, thank you. You send it to everyone so everyone can see it. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Joshua, Victoria. Thank you so much. For question 2, what is, okay, for question 2, dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. Dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. That was from our day 1 session as well. Dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. We are picking the 3rd person, but don't delay answering the questions. So don't delay answering the questions. Dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. We are waiting. Or is that question too difficult? Dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. Dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. There are two P's. I've given expo 2 P's. Dash and dash equals to everlasting impact. Question 3. What key thing? No. Okay, let me take from today's session. As a startup business, which language should you speak when approaching an investor? As a startup business, which language should you speak when approaching an investor? Victoria, I hope it's not too fast for you to keep track. Please, you could just call my attention to it so that I take the questions slowly. The last question, but not the least. Last question, but not the least. How many pillars does circular economy innovation partnership work with? How many pillars does circular economy innovation partnership work with? When you say the number, then you list them. Say the number and list them. Write out the number and list them. Victoria, please let me know when we have our winners. Help collate our winners. Now the winner. The comment box is on fire. So we have people that are listening. I'm so happy. I'm so happy, and I'm catching. Okay. Advocacy research program facilitation. Okay. Advocacy program facilitation research. 3. Okay. Keep it coming. Also, one thing we are going to be doing for all of our participants is that we are going to be sharing with you all of our speakers' social media handles. Yes. So, I don't know if you were able to read the e-flyer proper, but then we said we're going to give access to network because we believe so much that collaboration, partnership, mentorship are key things in the circular economy space. So we are sharing with you, rather, our speakers' social media handles, but then notes. No, Mr. Corey is to have everybody. So let me read out his comment. He said, it will be pained not to be a winner after getting question correctly, but your position of answer made you wrong. Well, it happens like that. Okay, for the third question. Right? The fourth person to comment. The fourth person. So I'm going to run through it again. For the first question, the first person to comment. For the second question, the fourth person to comment. For the third question is for the third person. Victoria, can you please unmute yourself so we have a conversation on this?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so have you gotten the arrangement?
Yes, for the first question.
Yes.
Can you hear me? For the first question, the first person to comment. The second question, the fourth person to comment. Then for the third question, the third person to comment, right?
Yes.
Then the fourth question, please. I'm waiting for the fourth question. Are you there?
Okay, thank you so much. So the reason we have these positions or arrangements for answers is because we want everybody to be a winner. Regardless of whether you win a prize or not, we believe that as long as you're on this call, you're a winner because you've gotten value that you would probably not get for free elsewhere. That prize may be like addition or plus, but then the value is the essence of the Careers Week series. The value is the essence of the Careers Week series. So I was saying something about sharing our speakers' social media handles. However, there's something they say, the way you are dressed is the way you'll be addressed. So it's going to matter how you approach our speakers. So you wouldn't expect that we tell you, okay, this is how you should approach them. So we believe that we are all students, we are all knowledgeable, and we know how best to approach our speakers. So don't worry, you have access to them. We'll share with you their social media handles, and you'll be able to ask further questions and connect with them on their social media platforms. Debbie, are you still on the call with me?
Yes, I am. I'm still on the call with you. Hello, Tolu, can you hear me? Okay. I think we lost Tolu.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, the network dropped. The network dropped me. I don't know. I'm definitely going to change my MTN line to Airtel. Sorry, I'm saying this on the spot, but then, like, it's been really, really awful.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, thank you. So, thank you. So, while Victoria collates the winners, like the winners so far from day 1, day 2, and now, so we can announce the winners and maybe get their WhatsApp contact, or what do you think, Debbie?
Okay. So I was thinking that once we have the winners, they could drop their emails in the chat box, so that I don't think they might be comfortable sharing their WhatsApp number with everyone. So they could just drop their emails and then we reach out to them. Or yes, better still, they could private chat you their phone numbers. So yes, there's a private
send it.
Exactly. So
so
it will be faster to just connect with them that way.
It's the winners for
today's
session.
Yes, we send it privately. Yes.
Send number. Okay, yes, please do. Please do. Thank you so much for your patience. Our speakers, our beautiful speakers, I appreciate you. I'm definitely connecting with you as well. So I'm saying it out here. I'm definitely connecting with you as well on your social media platforms. Yes. Thank you so much.
So I think Victoria has released the names of the winners for from day 1.
Also, okay, yes. Yes.
Okay. So someone just joined in late, so I'll just recap. So yes, you'll be getting the recordings for the session. So what we want to do is we want to collate the entire session and then share it with you in one go instead of in different split parts. So we just have a message from our panelist Yasmin. So she has to drop off the call. We are so delighted that you could be with us today. Thank you so much, Ma, for everything. Thank you so much. Like Tolu said, we'll be reaching out to you personally with our questions, and then we'll be forwarding other questions that come our way to you as well. Thank you so much for being with us. We are even going to try to make sure that by 5:30, all of us are out of here. So while Tolu is waiting for the different, the winners to start sending her private messages with their numbers, I'll just wrap up for today. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone on the call. Thank you to our panelists, most especially. Thank you, Ma'am Chandni. Thank you, Yasmin. It has been an honor to have you on this platform. Thank you so much to all the participants on this call. For those of you that have been with us from day 1 to this very moment, we really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we want to say thank you to CIP for this platform. Yes, it is because of their mission, to facilitate programs that encourage this type of ventures that we are here today. So we sincerely appreciate you for that. And then we want to encourage you not to miss out on tomorrow's session. So for tomorrow, I'll just give you like an inside view. We're going to be having a creative session coupled with an interactive session. So tomorrow is going to be fully packed. Moturayo, I see you. Just give me a couple of minutes to just round up what I'm saying, and then yes, I will attend to your question. So tomorrow is going to be packed. So yes, we hope to see you tomorrow. I was going to quickly share the flyer for tomorrow's session. So for tomorrow, we'll be exposing you. So a lot of our speakers during the course of this program have mentioned things like internship, mentorship, you know, positioning yourself properly for these opportunities. But then the question is, how do you position yourself for this opportunity? And that is what we'll be addressing in much detail tomorrow. However, it's not just going to be all talk. There will be a break time where we'll watch a creative video to see, you know, we said that there are so many aspects of, like there's so many careers you could do with secularity. So we'll be seeing someone that is totally not corporate, totally not startup, or someone who is purely artistic, thriving in the secular economy space. So please don't miss out on tomorrow's session. And then one of the speakers for tomorrow, I know I've not shared with my team yet, one of the speakers for tomorrow mentioned that he'll be doing a giveaway of his book to the first 20 participants who comment. So he'll be giving that book away for free. It actually costs like 5,000. So this is just to make you come tomorrow. It actually costs like 5,000 naira to get that book. You can get it on Amazon, but then coming for the session tomorrow, and then when we announce that giveaway, dropping your email and your name guarantees that you get a copy rather of that book. So yes, again, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And to look, am I good to just go? You have all the numbers that you need. You're awesome. Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone. Again, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same venue, same Zoom link. And this time, please don't come alone. Bring someone with you. Bring like 2 people with you, 3 people with you, so that we are able to just do this one more time and then, you know, thrive in this space together. Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.